Hi, this is Nika with Leap Taken, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things craft related, manifesting, witchy, um, law of attraction, esoteric, and everything else in between. So today, I wanted to talk about something I thought was an interesting topic because I see a lot of people have children who are going down this path. So today's topic is how do you integrate or should you integrate your children onto your path? There's really no right or wrong answer. So I'm going to just full disclosure, I'm not going to tell you you have to tell your kids to do what you do or else, let's not be like those other practices, religious practices, right? You know what I'm talking about? And I'm just folding clothes here. So what you want to do instead is, in my opinion, and what I did with my kids is I never hid anything from them because that would be silly. I was very open, and you leave it up to them. And you basically do as you do. If we're talking about certain holidays and you'd like to put on a full show, for lack of better words, that definitely shows that you're not following the big three religions. Do your thing. Do put it on. First of all, it's your home. You're the adult, and especially if these are older kids too, they can choose to participate or not. But when dealing with the babies, the younger ones, I'm going to say under 11, under 12, right? So the younger ones, the elementary school age kids, when you're dealing with them, I'm going to say it's a little bit more, especially the younger ones, like 3, they don't know. They don't know. Especially if part of what you study is about being in nature and meditating. Those are good things to do anyway. Seeing your altar, teaching them respect about not touching your altar, what's it for. When they see that you are mindfully living, consciously living, worrying about the environment, worrying about resources, things like that, that's a positive thing. And that's typically part of, let's say, a Wiccan path and things like that. But I would even argue that that's part of a lot like ATRs, things like that, where you do care about natural resources. There is thought to because there's, goddesses and gods related to those. So yeah, I definitely can understand exposing them to that ideology. Hopefully we're doing that anyway, just from an environmental, perspective. But yeah, you want to take your kid to a drum circle, why not? Don't go getting naked in front of your kids and taking them to an event where everybody gets naked to the beating drums. If you're dealing with a toddler, it doesn't matter. If you're dealing, because they don't know. But, once they probably are school age or preschool, they know. You can raise your kids how you want. If that's just what you're into and that's what it is, then I'll mind my business and shut up. But I would say this, Child Protective Services might feel differently, so you might want to be a little easy on that part, and maybe not, that might be just for the adults, and maybe not for the kids. If other people's kids are that, hey, the good power to them. Leave your kids at home, maybe. Maybe we don't expose them to that part. If you are someone who is lucky enough to have a coven, and you are wanting to bring your children to the coven meetings, or it's at your house, or whatever the case is, they would have exposure to it, and you guys actually doing workings and spells and magic, or rituals. Yes, you do your thing. If it's something that they're able to participate in, extend the invitation. Now, this is typically not something you're going to let a little kid do anyway. So this is probably going to be for the bigger kids, right? If you would like them to be involved, sure. If you want them to just witness, invite them. If they don't want to, that's enough. It's okay. They don't have to. They'll come to it on their own if they so choose. If not, that's their path. You can't see. I'm funny about. I don't like the idea of scare tactics. That's what I have an issue about as far as Christianity, I don't try to scare me into doing something. Telling me I'm gonna, go to hell and burn for eternity is a scare tactic to me. That don't do that. And I'm not gonna do that to my children. They're gonna believe me, they're gonna believe me, and I don't believe it. So I don't want to take that same approach and terrify my children so I can get them on board with the way I believe and the way I think. I don't think that's fair to do that to anyone, young or older. That's just me. Now, here's where it gets tricky, and this is something I definitely ran into. When you want to share certain gifts that you have, if you can speak with spirits, you can hear them. If you have a certain ability you'd like to share, if you're very, very intuitive, as mothers especially, I imagine fathers would do this as well, you're going to tell your kids, oh, I had a dream last night, your friend Bobby got hurt. So what are you guys doing today? Oh, you're going to practice? Tell them to be really careful. Like, oh, okay, And if Bobby hopefully doesn't get hurt, but he narrowly misses, and your kid's aware of that, they see now, oh, she's kooky, but she might be right sometimes. She might be she's a little crazy. Mom's crazy, but she was right. He almost got really hurt, but maybe he was the one that kept him from falling over or something like that. If you are great with reading cards, doing tarot readings, or runes and things like that, you'd love to share with your child, especially teenagers, and the child has expressed somewhat of an interest. Like I said, I've experienced this myself. Share. Let them know. Let me just show you, you can get excited if you want. I did. The moment they don't want to do it anymore, you can, listen, you're the parent with anything. Anything your kids do, and all of a sudden they have I don't want to do this anymore. Why? Did something happen? If it's just a thing where it's just a phase, they're over it, they're not interested anymore, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. They'll come back to it or they won't. Your job is not to teach your kids how to do magic if they're not interested in learning how to do magic. If they don't want to understand witchcraft, if they don't want to understand the natural world from an occult perspective, shut up. Shut up. Live your life. As I say with most things in other family members, sometimes you just have to live and be an example. And if they so choose to jump on, by all means. You're still their parent. You'll still, of course, parent them. But this particular aspect, no, you don't force it on them. How long are you going to respond? And first of all, let's talk about what it takes to really work with witchcraft. Your intentions. You can't force someone into this and not have them do something on their own. You might force them into a participation, but their thoughts could screw up everything you're working on. That's why I said, if they don't want to be at a ritual, tell them don't come. Because you don't want that. The kids could be haters too. You don't want that negative energy at your ritual. And people are looking like, yo, it worked great, last time we did this, but, your little brat sitting over here with the screw face is throwing everybody off. So, the whole vibe is thrown off. So, yeah, don't force them to come to that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it that I can think of. The only thing is, I see people post things and they said, I teach my kids this and I teach them that. And the kids seem to want to learn for the most part. And that's cool. I don't see anything wrong with that. Even if my children, let's say, because they're more, my son is probably a little more indifferent. He's accepted. He is accepted. But he's not wanting to sit around and have these wonderful conversations about anything that falls under witchcraft for a long period of time. He may ask a question, but that he got his answer and moved on. He doesn't want to have philosophical discussions about this. It'd be nice. I wish, but no, he doesn't. But I'm just thinking him, because my daughter's a little bit more open than he is. But she's also a skeptic, so that's interesting. If he was to just say, no, I always thought about this. If one of my kids, said I don't want to do this, I found my path is, as an adult, I found my path, or late teen, is more, one of the big threes, if they went with Christianity. It probably would hurt my heart a little bit. I'll be honest with you, YouTube. It would hurt my heart. And the people watching this video and anybody who hears this, it would hurt my heart. It would. It would bother me inwardly, outwardly. I'd like to be a cool mom for the most part, and I like my kids a lot. So because I like them, and as people, not just my kids, I like them as, for who they are. And I wouldn't want to offend them, so I would be very careful with, any my opinions and things like that. But it would probably, change things a little bit. I have family members I'm close to, that are Christian, and we have a relationship, but and I can talk to them about pretty much everything, but I still tiptoe around other things that have to do with witchcraft. So I can talk about, I just got this brand new car, and I'm so excited about my car. And they're, in the same way, they would say, I have been praying about this, and it just rolls off their tongue. I've been praying about this, and, God saw saw a way for me to get this car, because, I didn't think I could afford this car, or, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the credit for the car, or, I don't know how to negotiate for a car. I don't even know how to do this process the first time I'm buying my first car by myself, or, whatever the situation is. It would have, let's say, just been an obstacle, and you prayed about it, and you got your car. I've heard that so many times. People say that to me, or whatever the accomplishment is, we bought our first house, or bought a house, we got out of debt. I'm just trying to think of all the things I hear people say, or I was sick, and praise God, I'm better. We have been praying about this, or my marriage is better. There's so many scenarios that I've heard this. I could just rattle them off. But for me, you see, I took all this time to say this. For me, it's more like, yeah, so we got the house. I had been really wanting this. I got pretty much everything I wanted. Pause. Long, awkward pause. Because now I'm trying to reframe everything, what rolled off their tongue, and I accept. And it's nothing for them to say it. For me, which family member is this? How much can I say? How do I say this? If I can't figure it out fast enough, I just don't say anything. I just leave it there. Like, oh, that's nice. And then they'll say something like, well, praise God that you got the house. And I'm like, well, damn. But just, speak your truth, Mika. This is what I'm saying to myself. Just speak your truth. Just say what you want to say. But I still, to this day, get a little, freeze up in those moments. It's not everybody, but it's certain people. Because time has shown me people aren't very kind sometimes, and they can be very opinionated when you say something. But like a video I did before, there is no such thing as tolerance in reverse. There are very few people that I've come across who, like, straight 100% sincerely, 110% are really like, no, to each his own, whatever you want to follow, that's fine. And they just move right along. I don't see that happening very often. And I'm a woman over 40, and I've been practicing for over a decade, consciously practicing for over a decade. And people are not, they're like seriously judgmental. I'm sorry. And nobody's coming to burn, the place down, or, burn me up. Or hang me or something. It's not that bad, but it's the looks, it's the, now, how does that work again? Or why are you doing that? Those types of questions, a little condescending, and you try to answer the questions. And this is why I say give the kids a break and don't force it on them, because this will happen to them. You're an adult. Hopefully you can handle a little bit better, hopefully. But, it's a little tougher for kids when people kind of, put them in a corner. You know, if you're the grandmothers, you know, the in-laws, they're Muslim or Christian, they, you know, and they come, you know, and I like, look at my shirt, you know, free spirit. Look what, you know, it's like, you dress like this too much, and the kids are, you know, walking around with feathers and stuff hanging off, and charms and all that sort of stuff. And they're looking like, what are you guys into? What are you, hippies or something? And hey, just say, yeah, we're hippies. We're all about that life, you know, more natural lifestyle. You know, go with that. The moment you say the W word, you get stared at like you're crazy. Or, you know, no, they usually go crazy. Crazy is the first thing. Yeah, crazy is the first reaction. Like, what? No. And it goes from that to, you know, oh, you're into the devil, you know. And it can go escalate from there. I don't like the idea of my kids going through that. So I've always kept it really like low key. If you're interested, let me show you. But there is a side of this to know that if you go around telling people this, any of this, you don't even tell them about yourself, you just tell them about me. You may run the risk of coming across some ignorant people. You may feel the need to defend yourself or defend me. And I didn't want them to have to be in that position when they were kids. So I tried, like I said, I tried to keep it real loosey-goosey, real easy, like, oh, let me show you this. So, well, you know, let me put this crystal under your pillow. You're having these nightmares, or, you know, let me, oh, this hurts. Let me see. Okay, why don't we do some calming, positive, healing energy? You know, I touch it and I close my eyes. And we do deep breathing exercises. Oh, your head hurts. I'll do the same thing when they were little. That's, you know, bring them in that way. Or expose them, not bring them in, expose them that way. You know, just doing it, showing them what it is you do rather than telling them. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I had to say on this subject. And you probably got a little bit more about how I feel about Christianity and things like that. I'm fine with everybody honestly living however they live and following whatever they follow. I still hold true. They don't feel likewise. And most, you know, I like to be pleasantly surprised when I don't come across people who feel that way. But most time, I am not surprised. I'm almost always proven right. People who are strangers, people who know and love me, who've known me since I was a child, let that W word come out. Let me say something like that. Let me actually just say it for what it is. Things get different. Now, probably if I was a younger woman 20 years ago, I probably would have, yeah, I had more of that kind of attitude. Like, yeah, I'm saying it. That's what I am. And so what if you don't want to talk to me anymore? That's okay. I mean, on some level, I'm still like that. I don't live around my family, to be honest with you. I haven't lived around them for years, but I mean, everybody's getting old now. I don't want to ruffle the feathers. Listen, they're getting up there in age. What are you doing? You gonna fight your grandma? Me, mom? You gonna fight her? She's like 80-something years old, you know? What am I gonna do? Force her? You need to recognize I'm a witch. Like, come on. I'm not gonna do that. And my kids are witches too. We're not doing that. We're not doing it. We're not pissing the 80-plus-year-old woman off just so we can feel we should be able to live in our truth. I'm living in my truth right now. I'm making YouTube videos. I'm putting myself out there now. I don't feel like I need to pick up the phone and call my 80-something-year-old grandma and break it down to her and make her call me a witch. We're not doing that. That's silly. And I don't want my kids thinking like that either. You know, don't do that. Just live your truth in your truth. It's not hiding. You're not in a broom closet per se. You don't have to advertise to these people. And why are you trying to explain yourself to people who will never understand? Yeah, explain that to your kids if they aren't actually involved and they do care. Don't explain yourself to people who, I mean, this is just in life in general. You will waste your energy and time trying to convince people who won't even really listen to what you're saying. You're wasting it. Just, my husband always says it, let them die in ignorance. Doesn't mean you don't love them. And we're all gonna die. They just happen to die in ignorance. Just let them. What are you gonna do? Fight them into knowledge? You can. So, I will end it here. Thank you for watching. I'm Mika, and this is Leap Taken. I'll have even more content, even more videos to come. So thanks again for clicking on my video.